For this carving project, you're going to need a small piece of a somewhat hard wood. I'm using juniper. Later on, the hardness of the wood is going to help a lot, because that means that you can make thinner wings and finer details. If, like me, you started with a cylindrical piece of wood, you should split it in the middle to have this flat surface to work with. Next, we're going to make a V-cut in the middle. So I'm just going to draw a line over here, and this is where I'll make the V-cut. It's easiest to start from the edges so that we can focus on removing sharp edges instead of trying to carve the flat surface in the middle. Then in the middle we can merge the two V-cuts we made into one. Next we should make this corner a little bit less tight so that the slope continues all the way to the edges. Next we can draw a simple sketch of the butterfly. So basically we can make just two V shapes like this, and then about here and about here are going to be the ending points of the upper wings. So we make another line like this, and another line like that, and then we can make the outer edges of the wings. And now it's easy to draw the body. So over here is going to be the head. There's going to be a little thicker section over here and a little slimmer section. The easiest thing to remove right now are these two corners over here. So we make some more V-cuts. Notice that over here I'm making two distinct V-cuts and not connecting the sides in the middle, because I want to leave room for the head. From here we can now easily continue the V-cuts to the top also to separate the body from the wings. And the same can be done down here also. Then we can make the body a little bit smoother and rounder. Then we can remove these two edges so that the wings will be straight again. And yet again we're going to make some V-cuts. This project is mostly just V-cuts, which makes it very beginner friendly. So we start from here on the sides to gain better access on the inner parts. However, the idea is not exactly the same as with the other V-cuts. What we want to make is basically the end result of a stop cut. But at least in my case over here, I can't really cut in this direction due to the grain of the wood. Instead, I need to make this beginning of a V-cut and then cut the opposite side in whatever cuts the grain allows. So I guess it's something between a stop cut and a V-cut, but basically it's just a V-cut where on the other side I cut with the tip of the blade like that, and then on this side I cut with the larger edge of the blade. Next we're going to define the body a little bit better. So I just colored these areas. You can then carve the colored areas using sweeping cuts, V-cuts, and push cuts. You can also lower the head slightly so that it's not as high as the back. Next we can carve these outlines. If you want, you can add some patterns on the wings with some V-cuts. This one right here is more of a sweeping cut. Notice here that while making these cuts, I'm not only pressing the blade directly into the wood, but I'm also sliding it. This makes the cuts a lot cleaner and smoother. Making the edges of the wings slanted like this creates a nice little detail to the pattern in my opinion, but it will also help us to create the illusion of a thinner wing once we slim these down. And that is in fact the final step, which we're going to make now, the flattening of the wings. In the beginning, it's mostly just rough cuts. But then once you get closer to the final thickness, sweeping cuts come in handy because you want to retain some of the thickness in the middle while still slimming down the wings. I won't be making the bottom side as detailed as the top. I'm just making a little distinction between the body and the wings, and then I made this part flat.